Hi, welcome to our first demonstration and inspiration video for the Triangle Project. I'm Jen Onlock, Education Programs Manager at Latcham Arts Center. Okay everyone, today we're going to focus on creating paper using watercolor or food coloring if you have that at home. I like to start with making paper because then you can use it later on for other techniques. So we're going to go ahead and use a wet on wet technique. So I'm wetting the paper down. I'm using our template, the back of the template, and I'm just using watercolor from an art supply store, student grade. If you don't have watercolor, food coloring works just as well. So there I'm showing you that you can wet the paper first and then add your color so that it's not bleeding directly on the spot that it's bleeding outwards quite a bit. You're getting a blending happening, there's more water, so it's a little more dilute, a little more fluid with the colors. And you want to go ahead and you just want to have fun with it. You want to enjoy the materials, you want to enjoy the colors. You want to blend a little bit, but you also want to leave some clear. You can dab and flick a little bit of paint so you get more saturation in some areas than others. You might want to do this outside because you could get quite messy, but you really just want to have fun with it at this point. You're not worrying about making anything. You're not worrying about your triangle shapes. You're just creating a piece of paper that you can then cut your triangles from. So by doing this and not worrying, you're going to get some more free-flowing action with your brush and your paint that you otherwise wouldn't. When you're trying to work to a specific shape, you're going to make different decisions. So I like to start with this project for classes and camps because it gets students really having fun with the materials and getting a feel for what happens when you put the paint down to the paper. Like I said, this was wet on wet, so it's fuzzier edges, a little less saturation. It bleeds further into the page so that you're getting a little softer look. And now I'm just showing you here what the food coloring looks like as well. So you can see there's not a huge difference, so don't worry about not having actual watercolor paint. If you do, go for it. You can also dilute acrylic. Another technique is to add some resist using crayons. If you have some crayon or any type of wax at home, just have fun with it. Go crazy, scribble. You could draw if you like, and then you're going to paint over. So wherever that wax is, it's going to resist the water, and you'll actually get some really neat edges happening around the wax. And again, just have fun with the paint, play with the colors, get a feel for the materials, and just create basically a piece of paper that you can then use. And I like to do this technique and then use the paper for a variety of projects afterwards. So it's a great place to start. Got a little blending in there, see what happens when you mix some of the colors. Again, just having fun with it and seeing where it takes you. Okay, I also just want to show you, if you're at home, don't have paintbrushes, don't have watercolor, you can still do the project. Any paper, a plastic spoon, some food coloring, you can absolutely create a beautiful piece of paper. You're just really focused on getting the ink down, playing around with wet on wet or go into the dryer. You can see when you hit the dry part of the paper, the saturation is greater. It doesn't blend as far. Using a Q-tip also works. Look around for any materials around your house that you might be able to use, and you may get results that you just otherwise wouldn't by being creative with the tools you have at home. So just a little wet and wet, blending a little. Tissue paper, regular bond paper, printer paper, any kind of paper. You can do this also on top of newsprint. play around, have fun with it, which is the idea here, and you'll be able to use this for many other projects. You may also want to think about going over some of the paper that you've already created and that's already dried, especially if it's a really soft, wet on wet look, so the colors are more muted, less saturated, and just taking new colors, the same color, and going over top of that. I've done some splattering, but you can also create some shapes, get a little more ink down. Again, the whole idea is to just have fun with it, play with the colors, play with the feel of the brush or the spoon or the Q-tip, whatever you happen to be using as a tool. Play with the watercolor or food coloring, and just have fun with it. You're creating a sort of a free-flowing colored piece of paper that you'll be using to create other projects, but at this point would make a fantastic triangle for our project. So just have fun with it, play with it. You're not trying to create a shape. You're really just creating a piece of paper at this point. I just want to show you one more thing that you can do with the paper and your dyes or food coloring. And it was inspired by a workshop we did about a year or so ago at Latcham Arts Center, based on a shibori dyeing technique, Japanese. Very simple, but can create some really gorgeous effects. So you're going to start, I'm using tissue paper, a little closer to the Japanese paper, a little more absorption, and I'm just going accordion style, folding it the length, so back and forth folding. I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to go corner to corner. So I'm making a triangle, so I'm going the bottom right up to the left edge and then flipping that up. You see another triangle, flipping it to the right, get the right edge to get that triangle, flipping it up again, then flipping it to the left, get another triangle. Last little bit, just folding that. And I'm just going to go ahead and dip that in the same food coloring that I used to create the other effects. But this time I'm just going to focus on my corners. I'm going to let the liquid do the work and take that triangle, and I'm going to dip the first corner in. Watch it absorb up the corner towards the center. That gorgeous blue color there. Then I'm going to take the next color. I'm using a sort of a fuchsia already. And let that go up the next corner, just dipping that right in there. You can see it's flowing up towards the center, and it's going to continue to go as you move. And final corner, I'm going to do a yellow in there. You can also double dip too. You can get a little yellow at the bottom of the red to create a little orange, and maybe a little yellow at the bottom of the blue. The longer you keep it in, the more color that gets absorbed. Now, being as this is, let's do a little blue there. As this is tissue paper, it's going to be hard at this point because it's so wet and it's so thin to unfold, but I'll give you an idea of what you can expect. And you can, once you get this open, lie that out in the sun. Dries very quickly. And then you have this beautiful piece of paper that you can create many things. That could be the end product for your triangle, or it can be the first step of your triangle. And in subsequent videos we will show you other things you can do with this paper. So just unfold it a little there, give you an idea what's happening, and it's going to be in a pattern because you fold it in a pattern. See? Gorgeous. Beautiful. Okay, once you've got your paper dried, you can then go ahead and cut your triangles out of it. I like to use a knife and a ruler. It gives you sort of a nice straight edge. So I'm going to go ahead and use the template to cut on the lines to get my triangles. You can use scissors if you wish, or if you're not comfortable cutting it out, want to just drop off your piece of paper that you've created, we'd be more than happy to cut the triangles out of it. That's no problem at all. We're just excited to see the work. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this first video of inspiration and technique. We will be posting another one next week, so stay tuned. And just have fun with it, enjoy it, and if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me, Jen, at programs@latchamartcenter.ca. Last piece, and voila, there you go. Fantastic triangle for our project. Hope to see you soon.